Start this off with don't expect much from us this week.
Don't listen to this show. It sucks.
We'll make sure this one doesn't show up on the RSS feed either.
What was wrong with that anyway?
Just because I didn't click the right checkbox and make it show up. It should be fine.
Libsyn?
Yeah. No, it was on the RSS site.
Okay. Libsyn is like the biggest pain in the butt.
Yeah.
If you don't do everything exactly how they want you to do it, they're like, oh, I understand you clicked all these boxes and did all these things, but we don't care.
Yeah, it was fine. Once I went in and figured out what I had screwed up, it was fine. I think I was like half asleep when I posted that show. So.
Did Sean fire you?
No. Sean was fine with it. I didn't even know what to do. All right, everybody. Well, we'll get started. Hello and welcome to Handgun Radio. I'm your host, Ryan Machad from the wild woods of Central Maine, and this is your home for all the news, information, and discussion in the handgunning world. This week, we take a small break after the Taurus History episode with Daniel Waters, and we discuss some recent firearms news. So as always, Handgun Radio is brought to you by the Firearms Radio Network. And please check out the Patriot Patch Company for their awesome patches and other high-quality items. Visit patriotpatch.co for more information. And there are some awesome artist-proof renditions coming along with the latest Patch of the Month patches. So be sure to go sign up for that and check out all the other stuff they offer as well. And as always, shop Amazon using our affiliate link, firearmsradio.tv/Amazon. And please help support Handgun Radio. Head over to firearmsradio.tv/pledge and click on HGR. A bunch of different pledge levels over there, and we really appreciate it. So, Weird, how you doing this week?
I am doing pretty good. How you doing, Ryan?
I'm exhausted.
Yeah, I know how that feeling works.
Both of us are kind of exhausted this week. I think we mutually agreed. We were like, yeah, we're going to take it easy on this episode this week and talk about some news we've seen, some other stuff that we've seen come over the airwaves and the interwebs, as it were.
Well, we gave him another Daniel Waters deep dive. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, that one should keep you busy for a while because, like I said, you're going to need to listen to that twice.
Oh, I mean, just the amount of information that he just churns out.
So we actually, that's kind of a good segue into the week in review.
I was about to say, if you were going to segue to it, like we need to talk about that right now.
I got some really great emails and comments on Facebook. I don't have them all in front of me, but they were really, really great. Congratulating Daniel and thanking him for all the information that he put out there. The Taurus episode was exhaustive. Like, if it's not there, you don't need to know it, basically. So we're going to talk to Daniel about doing some other history episodes. We've toyed with a few things. Let me see if I can find where Daniel and I were talking about it. He was kind of just throwing out, other people were throwing out some ideas. I know one of them was we were talking about just doing the cartridges. Here, okay, so here was one. How about we limit a Smith and Wesson episode to the cartridges and guns commissioned by Smith and Wesson, from the Volcanic to the 460 Smith and Wesson Magnum.
Whew, that would be another long one,
but not as long as if we tried to do a decoder ring episode.
Oh yeah. Let's just talk about like every different rules for what these like numbers mean for this gun. They all mean something, but it's not always the same.
Another option was a short history of the Bren 10 and the 10mm Norma cartridge. And then a short review of 1911 cartridges.
Oh. Yeah, that actually would be really cool.
So, yeah, there's quite a few. Also, somebody suggested Remington. I don't think we've covered Remington, but there's not really much for handguns for them. That would be
yeah, no, not a ton. There's kind of
we could do
got the R51 and then the was it R51 or P51? What was the original
R51? No, it was just the Remington 51.
Remington 51.
But we could do an episode with manufacturers who aren't normally handgun manufacturers doing handguns, and Remington would be part of that.
Yeah, get those Benelli handguns in there. Isn't it Benelli?
Yeah, Benelli,
Mauser.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, that's a show right there. Yeah,
I'm writing it down on the Facebook comments right now before I forget.
Yeah, that's a done deal. Like my juices are already flowing for that one. We could do that.
It's too bad we can't get Life Size Potato in on that one, but we can.
Oh, we need him so bad. Like
I know he doesn't want to come on the show. I've spoken with someone who knows him, and he respectfully he likes the show and he likes what we do, but he's
he does listen.
He does. I don't know if he listens, but he has heard us.
Okay.
I guess from what I understand. So
we
got to
be like the podcast for him. Looking at his YouTube channel, this is a podcast he will be amused by.
Let's just put it this way: our door is always open.
Yes,
for him to be on the show, because that would be incredible. I would stay up until midnight recording if he wanted to come on the show.
How about this? How about we have Hickok 45 over and have him make fun of Life Size Potato for the entire show?
Do you think that would get him on the show?
I don't know. It was just the first thought that popped into my mind.
Why don't we just have both of them on the show at the same time?
That'd be awesome.
I would need to take the day off the next day because we'd be up so late.
Yeah. Well, that's nothing like day offs.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was cool. I'm so tired. I had a couple of great gigs. I had one.
Oh, did you miss the one where he talked about like the history of Sig Sauer? Who? There was another suggested one you mentioned to me, and I'm like, oh my God, that would be like a 4-hour episode because Daniel would start with JP Sauer and Son.
Right, way back in the day.
Which I pulled up the YouTube page, the Wikipedia page for, and Lorenz Sauer opened the door to the shop in 1751.
I'm just glad that he went so far back with Taurus because I had no idea that Taurus had roots that far back.
Yeah, I was actually surprised at that too. I think I had said like a bunch of wrong stuff about Taurus long before because I was under the assumption just based on some of the stuff that was true, and I just extrapolated it in the completely wrong direction.
It's kind of like that thing where you have people like Ian McCullum talks about from Forgotten Weapons, where a lot of these myths that you have nowadays that are often repeated are just because like back in the day, someone read it in like American Rifleman in the 50s or whatever, and
Shotgun
News or something like that, and got some idea, and it just got repeated, and everybody picked up on it, and slowly I think some of those myths are getting tamped down, but it's very interesting to see how the telephone game can kind of cause something to spread that far. I mean, Taurus isn't all bad. It does have its problems, but there's a hell of a history behind that company, a lot more than you would think.
No, they're not all bad because they're making a fortune selling Taurus judges to people.
Yeah, I mean, whether or not you think the gun is tactically sound is beside the point. They are a company whose job is to make products for people to buy, and they are doing that.
Yeah, Michael Bain was recently talking. I think it was in last week's show. He was talking about the Glock 19X, and essentially his opinion's the same as mine. As geez, what a dumb idea. But one of the Glock guys says, "What's the best-selling model in 1911?" He goes, "It's the Commander." And he's like, "Yeah, what is that?" That's the shortened frame on the full size, the shortened slide on the full size frame. And it's one of those like, yeah. And
I saw that the Glock 19X was selling like hotcakes. There was an article I saw, I think, in TFB, where they were talking about how much it had sold. Let's see, it was quite a bit. It was a big deal.
Yeah, how bad of an idea can it be if you're making money off of it?
Right, it may not be your 100,000 in 180 days.
Wow. Well, that's like, what was that at the NRA show? I saw the 1 millionth like Glock 43, was it? It was the 43 or 42. It was one of the little small frame single stacks.
And if it was the 43, I remember back when when that came out at NRA 2015, and we got to go shoot it before it released. So it hasn't been that long.
Yeah. So yeah, it's what, but they had a commemorative one. I think it was the 1 millionth one. And it's one of those like, no, it's not the 1 millionth, like Glock 17. That ship has sailed probably a long time ago. No. It is the 1 millionth, the brandiest new Glock. Like they are just Glock sells a lot of guns.
Yeah.
and good for them that they make great guns.
Well, this probably belongs in your drink segment. I had a couple of great gigs this weekend. Wore my Smith & Wesson shirt at one and then my Glock shirt at the other.
Good for you.
Played at a country club on Friday night, and this woman kept giving me shots of Crown Royal that she ordered way too many of every single time, and that stuff is gross.
So now you were saying, was this the sweetened stuff, or was it just whiskey?
It tasted like watered down whiskey mixed with Kool-Aid.
Okay, I bet you got the Crown Royal honey.
Well, whatever it was gross.
Well, that would be gross. I mean, that's. I'm not going to know if you drink.
But I'm also not going to turn down a free shot either.
I would with that.
Well, she wanted to pour it into my tip jar, and my money was in there, so I had to do something.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I couldn't put it in my pocket.
Literally dodge it. But she was going to pour it in your tip jar? She was that loaded?
You want me to put... She was that loaded. She kept ordering them. There were 7 people, and she kept ordering 10.
A fool in their money.
It was my benefit, I guess. But
I guess so. but good for you.
Yeah, and then we had another one for a summer camp, and that was 4 hours of people singing karaoke, the restaurant being packed to capacity, and a really good time, actually. It was quite fun. So had a good time, but I am tired now.
I know how that works.
Weird. What'd you do?
Let's see. Well, we had a yard sale yesterday.
And actually
in my driveway. Yeah, that's the definition of a yard sale.
I was going to say, not in your front yard.
No. Well, yeah, no, not in my front.
AKA the sidewalk.
Well, there's like 15 feet of frontage. It's not a big front yard. Just sold off a bunch of old furniture and all that. We had a lot of stuff that just been sitting around for a long time. And maybe we'll use this. Maybe it's been 10 years. We're not going to use it. And stuff that we packed out of the 3rd floor for the renovation that you got to witness. You got to witness the start and the end.
That thing is beautiful, though.
Yeah, you didn't even go like upstairs. Like I just remember you came into my house. It was after we got back from the NRA when it was in Louisville, and I had to say it.
Yeah, wait till you get the emails for that.
Yeah, and yeah, you just came in and there was just like there was like tarps hanging over everything. Like my house was dilapidated.
I really should have taken a nap on your couch that night.
I told you should have.
But I remember like hitting. Where was I? I was hitting Augusta, Maine. I was like 20 or 30 miles away from home, and I had I had all the windows down, the music as loud as I possibly could, and I kept sticking my finger out the window and wiping my eyelids so they'd be cold to keep myself awake just to make it those last few miles.
Yeah, that
happened to get off the highway. Once I got off the highway and into town, like we have 2 exits in my town. I got off the first one. Once I was in town, I was fine. Yeah, but on the highway, those straight roads, nope.
Oh, that's tough. Yeah, but yeah, I offered you the couch and you said no, but you made it. You didn't die.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do? I got some of that too. Yeah, and so here's the big cool news that people who are listening will enjoy is my other show, the Assorted Calibers podcast. We while I was at the NRA show, I won a C5 9mm AR lower from New Frontier Armory, and I decided, well, I can't take possession of it, and I don't know, I didn't really get too far thinking, do I really want a 9mm AR? But I decided, hey, you know what? I got this podcast and we get a Patreon group. Why don't we do a giveaway to thank these guys? And so I did a giveaway, and believe it or not, it is a friend of all of us, friend of this show, friend of my show, friend of all of us. Heinrich from Geeks, Gadgets, and Guns won it. So not only does a good guy get this 9mm AR lower, but we're probably going to see it on LFD research on YouTube of him building it up. He better do it.
It's going to be used on experiments.
Oh God. I can't wait to see what he does with it.
Put it through its paces.
Yeah, man.
I mean, what are you going to do to it, really? You're going to hurt it.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. Nah. Well, I don't know. I've seen what they did with the High Point. If they really wanted to, they could hurt it.
I mean, I've seen what you did with your black powder nipples, so.
I just took them off. The black powder nipples are fine. I think it's the frame wedge. I haven't even touched it. It's been like over a year and I just haven't even touched it. I look at it and go, yep, not today.
I'm sorry, just you give me crap about my CNR, so I'm like, well, I'm going to give you crap about your black powder pistol.
I need to do my renewal this week.
Oh, there you go. Maybe you could file my paperwork for me. Oh, no, you can't. Sorry.
No, I can't. You should get it, dude. Have it that way. The distributors send it up to the house. And actually, I could have like I can get one of those stars and send it to you, and then I'll just come pick it up and we'll do a dealer transfer because they won't ship it to Massachusetts. Mara Healy.
Oh, Mara. So, what's your drink segment this week?
So, well, we've been talking for so long. Now they're almost all gone. But I am having a flight of Manhattans. I said to you, I said, I'm getting everything set up. I said, all right, let me go make my drinks, plural. Just so you know, no, I'm not getting that loaded.
They're little drinks, bitty drinks.
Yeah, little drinks. I've got these little teeny tiny 3-ounce cocktail glasses, and I use it for when I can't decide what I want. And I like to come up with trios of drinks. That's my favorite thing to do is 3 related but different drinks. So I'm doing all Manhattans. So one's the standard. That's 4 parts rye, 1 part sweet vermouth. So scale it to your big glass or your little glass, however you want to do it. So I'm doing it 1 ounce of rye and 1/4 ounce of sweet vermouth. Angostura bitters, and I've garnished it with a cherry. The other one is something I've been playing around with a little bit, and I think I've got it, is a dry Manhattan. I had one the other night, and it was awful. I sent you a picture of it. And yeah, that dry Manhattan was a struggle to get through. I used celery bitters because it seemed like a good idea at the time. It's not a good idea. 4 parts.
Never a good idea.
Celery is a fantastic idea on so many levels, just not in a dry Manhattan.
The only time celery is good is when you want to show kids what happens when things suck like liquid up through the little veins.
Oh, put it in the food coloring?
Yeah, that's the only time that celery is good.
I don't know. I really like celery. It's a good snack.
Oh, hipster.
All you got to do is see the two of us side by side. You can see which one of us is the celery eater.
Exactly. And I am proud of it.
I'm not going to eat celery. I'm going to have onion rings.
Give me the blooming onion any day.
Where's the fried cheese? So the dry vermouth, this time I used 4 parts rye, 1 part dry Manhattan, dry vermouth, and orange bitters, and garnished with a lemon twist. And that is pretty darn tasty. So I highly recommend that. It's a nice little twist on the classic Manhattan. This is one that is new to me. I've got a link in the show notes to the YouTube video that I found it on. This is a guy, he got married, and he came up with a bunch of different cocktails for his wedding. There was a his, there was a hers, and there was the unity cocktails that he had. And his cocktail, he called it the Coast to Coast. Evidently, this guy was born in Seattle, Washington, and moved to Manhattan. And so he made a variation of a Manhattan that is 1 part sweet vermouth, 1 part coffee liqueur. I can't remember what he used. He used something fancy. He suggested Kahlua. I don't have Kahlua. I have what do I have for coffee liqueur, Ryan?
I don't remember.
I
couldn't get into your liquor cabinet. I had the child lock, and I'm way beyond that.
Come on, man. Go to any tar paper shack up the street from you. What was
Allen's?
Allen's Coffee Brandy. Yes.
Well, I mean, we pour Allen's on our cereal up here. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's delicious. It's a really good drink. Like
Cheerios and Allen's makes the body strong.
It's good for hangover.
Seth Westcott, that's what he ate every day.
And 4 parts rye, no garnish, no bitters, and oh my god, this is good. Do you have any sweet vermouth, Ryan?
No, I don't.
Why not? Oh,
because I don't mix drinks like you. The extent of my mixing drinks is pouring Collins mix into a glass.
Well, that's a perfectly acceptable solution.
I was sitting at the bar before my gig, and I had somebody request a vodka Collins, and I went, "What?" And then I got to thinking, I'm like, yeah, still no. I don't know that I would mix vodka with Collins mix. I don't know. Have you ever had one?
I have not. I don't do a lot of drinking of vodka, but it'd be fine. Collins mix is fine. It just wouldn't have the je ne sais quoi that gin brings to it.
Yeah, but if you don't drink good vodka, it tastes like friggin' gasoline.
Oh, I hate bad vodka.
Like that's one of those hard ones. Like, even cheap gin is still decent.
And actually, I won't lie. There are a few like high-end vodkas, like Grey Goose. Grey Goose is a ridiculously good tasting vodka.
Well, yeah, but you're also spending $60 a bottle.
I don't think it's that expensive. It's spendy.
I don't know.
I'm going to New Hampshire. I'll have a look.
Yeah, you'll have to get with us next time. All right. So with that, we will head into the main topic. News break. Yeah, so this week, like we said earlier, don't expect a whole great deal from us. It's been a rough week for both of us, I think. And we also had a decent episode last week. So we are going to talk about news stuff that has come up. But first, actually, let's address some of the comments in the YouTube channel here. Speaking of new guns, Snarky says, my pop got a new firearm, an AWS Spets 12, a Saiga 12 style with a 13-inch barrel and a brace. Ooh. I did not know what that was. I'm going to look that up. Yeah, that's cool. Those little shorty, some of those look, oh, wow.
That is kind of nice.
Kind of liking that.
I'm not a huge fan of the AKs. I won't lie. Like that's one of the few guns that I've sold.
But it's less goofy than the friggin' pump action shotguns with the 30 round mags they've been putting out in the past 4 months.
I kind of like the pump actions with I would like a semi-auto with a mag fed.
It's because you live in Massachusetts.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't be able to get it.
She banned those too? The pump actions?
No, not the pump. The pump. I think I could get I don't know if I could get I haven't asked the local gun shop because I'm afraid that they'll say yes and I'll buy one. I want a Shockwave, a Mossberg 590 Shockwave so desperately bad, but I cannot think of a single use for it. And on top of that, I can only shoot slugs out of it from my club, and
ouch.
Well, it's actually, again, I shot slugs out of a 590 SBR with a bird's head grip, and those bird's head grips really do make slugs very reasonable. Like it's maybe a little bit more than shooting my LCR with my Full House 357s.
So the first one we have here is the FN 509 Tactical has been released. We haven't talked that much about FN, and this is one that actually looks really nice.
Yeah, man, honest. It's cool.
I'm not a big fan. I'm fine with the red dots, but I like the look without the red dots. But this thing, so let's see, ambidextrous controls, threaded barrel, optics ready, slide, and 24 round magazine.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, XD, suck on that.
I've never actually handled one of these, and this is the first time looking at it that I've realized it's got a segmented trigger.
It looks super slim.
So now I want to try just to see how the segmented trigger feels like compared to the because Smith & Wesson's the only other one that I know that does that. Do you know anybody else that does a segmented trigger?
I don't think so.
Because I gotta say, as much as I don't like the look of the Glock trigger and trigger that everybody else does, it's a really, really good execution of a trigger safety.
I like the way they cut the profile of the slide at an angle. Like if you're looking at it from the front, halfway up to just where the ejection port meets, at the end there where it locks up.
I like that look.
It looks really nice, and then it just goes to the flats.
Yeah, it's got that kind of Desert Eagle profile, and as you know, I think the Desert Eagle is one of the most attractive pistols out there.
It really does. And then the other thing is, I think the grip texture and the layout kind of reminds me of a CZ, like the newer CZ polys.
Yeah, that's all the FNs look like that too. Like all the older hammer fired FNs all had that style grip. So it looks like an FN to me. I get such mixed feelings about the. I get the advantage of having a red dot, and I understand the needing of like co-witnessing sites because that's one of the big things of when red dots first started coming out. You pull the gun out and you like point it somewhere, and then you're like, all right, where's the dot? Where's the dot? And you got to hunt. You got to hunt all through space to try to find the dot. And so if you have sights on it, that gives you some reference points so you can better find the dot, but you're still finding the sights kind of. I bet it's a lot faster.
It's I don't have
these
a
are
great
also
deal of
gigantic.
experience with it.
So these are gigantic suppressor sites too. So I wonder how much real estate of that little screen they're taking up.
Well, and you would want to co-witness with those anyway, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Yeah. Or you need to, because again, it's super easy to pick up a set of iron sights. Like as soon as you have the gun up in your field of vision, you know where the sights are and you just know how to move them to line them up. With a red dot, if the dot's not in the screen, where is it? Is it up, down, left, right? Where is it? You got to hunt.
I like red dots. If they work for you, that's awesome. Everyone I've used, I mean, they've been fine, but I just like iron sights. I don't know. I'm weird.
There's a part of me that likes red dots. I like red dots on rifles.
Yeah.
Because you got the cheek weld on there of the red dot is right there because you've got that cheek weld. And so it's right there. I love a red dot on a rifle because it turns it into a video game. Well, it's just you get the video game. You've always got the little reticle just in the middle of the screen. And there's no you don't line up the sights. You just put the reticle on something.
So the thing that I'm curious about is this gun gonna be valid for like competition? Because the price on it isn't terrible for all the features you're getting on it and everything that's built into it. It's $1,049 MSRP, so you're going to be paying like in the 900s for this.
That's reasonable, especially
which isn't terrible.
Given like to pick up an FN 509, which is probably what, like $500 new.
Yeah, probably. I bet you it's probably $650 maybe.
Yeah, somewhere in there. But picking up a 509 and having does it have did they upgrade the trigger in it?
I have no. I have so little knowledge of the new the FN pistols that have come out lately. Yeah.
I'm just looking to see if they're saying anywhere in here in this article if the trigger's been upgraded. But yeah, the to get a bone stock FN 509 or anything, get a Glock 19 and modify it to this level, yeah, you're going to be spending a ton of money.
So our next little news article, these 9mm PMAG conversions. This is interesting. Strange.
Well, I want to know how many 9mm ARs that use a full, or is this conversion ARs? Can you get like a conversion like upper? I actually don't know that much about.
So the converted PMags will work with standard AR-15 lower receivers and Glock or Colt magazine compatible 9mm bolts.
Okay. So it's you would have a standard to AR-15 lower bolt mated to a 9mm upper, and then I assume you have to swap out the buffer spring. Like I've never dove too deep into the 9mm AR carbines.
So the article says the advantages of this product that you can use an unmodified, no magazine wells or inserts or adapters, AR-15 lower receivers, and turn your PMags into 9mm magazines. The disadvantage is that your 9mm magazine will have the dimensions of a 5.56 one. On the other hand, these magazines will fit in standard AR-15 magazine pouches, and the magazine manipulations will feel the same as with a standard AR-15.
I mean, that's a big plus right there. Like if you want to like downgrade to 9mm for your training, but yet you're moving around magazines that are about the same size and probably not too much different in weight.
Retains last round hold open capability and also has a built-in ejector.
Wait, the magazine has an ejector?
I guess.
It does. It's got a little thing sticking up the top.
Comes with a follower extension that limits the magazine capacity to 10 rounds to make it legal in the states with restrictive legislation. However, it can be easily modified to become a magazine of 15, 20, or 30 rounds.
Why does it have an ejector on the magazine? That's so strange. I see it right there. What? Wow. What do you...
Right now, apparently it's available for a pre-order for $24.99.
But why is the ejector in the... Is the ejector on... You're the one that owns the AR. Does your ejector in the lower?
On an AR?
Yeah, is that a way to get
No,
get around?
It's right on the bolt face. It's isn't it a little round thing on the bolt face, isn't it? I don't know my AR, my handgun radio.
That's the extractor. Yeah, but you know
that's not the no, it's not the extractor. It's the ejector's right on the bolt face, isn't it? Yeah, it's on the bolt face.
Oh yeah, there it is. So why?
Yeah, see, I'm right. I'm not just the handgun radio guy. I know where my ejector is. Thank you very much.
For those who don't know, there's an AR-15 podcast on this network. If you want to talk about AR-15s, don't stay here.
I wasn't wrong.
You are not wrong at all.
The extractor is on the other side. Yeah, it's just So with the 9mm bolts, do they not have that on there? Let's see, 9mm.
I don't know, because the thing that's sticking off the top of this magazine looks like an ejector on like a standard pistol, where it's the little wing that catches the round.
Conversion bolt face. Oh, look at that! I'm looking at a picture of a 9mm bolt. And it does not look like it has. I'm going to put it in the show notes for you to see it here.
Okay.
Does not look like it has
an
ejector on it.
I'm also looking, and I found a whole bunch of AR lowers, and they have again a pistol style ejector on the receiver. So that's why it's on. That's why. Okay, that makes perfect sense. Is if you are going to be using a 9mm AR, you're going to get like a 9mm lower. It's going to have an ejector attached to the gun. So Heinrich is going to be getting himself an AR lower with an ejector on it. But if you're going to be using a 5.56 lower or whatever rifle caliber lower, the ejector is going to be on the bolt face, but that's not going to be on your 9mm bolt face. So by putting it on the magazine, ta-da, you solved the problem. All right, makes perfect sense.
We're learning as we go. No nasty emails. We're having fun here.
That's right. You can learn with us.
Yeah, I've never really dealt with 9mm ARs. I mean, I'm sorry. I go shoot MP5s instead. So
that's true. or we can go hang out with Heinrich, because he's going to get he's got a 9mm AR that takes MP5 magazines.
Wildy is available now.
Oh, Wildy's.
Wildy Survivor Pistol and 44 Auto Mag now available for pre-order. USA Firearms Corp has announced the Wildy Survivor and 44 Auto Mag. You can also order barrel assemblies chambered in the caliber, compatible with all the pistols. Gas operated, semi-automatic, barrel options of 8, 10, or 12 inches, and the prices vary from $2,750 to $3,000. The prices for the barrel assemblies are $725, $770, or $800, depending upon the finish option as well. Barrel length choice does not affect the price. Oh, that thing is beautiful.
And they're surprisingly handy. Like, they do not feel like a Desert Eagle in the hand.
That's crazy, man. That's so awesome.
And can I note that in the link in the show notes here, the guy holding the Wildy is putting his finger in front of the trigger guard.
Oh, such an 80s move.
So 80s. And actually, what's weird is that one, it's got a squared off trigger guard front.
The others don't.
The others have rounded trigger guards. So what's the deal? Which do you get?
I don't know, but I know I want this Ruger Commander 1911.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you do.
You just want me to get a 1911, don't you?
And a commander. I like commanders.
This thing looks actually quite nice. It's their newest SR 1911. Well, sorry, officer style.
Oh, this is the officer. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
so I put I titled it wrong, but it still looks cool. It is the 1911 officer style 3.6-inch barrel as opposed to the classic 3-inch. CNC machine slide and frame with low glare stainless finish, bushingless stainless steel bull barrel with full length guide rod.
I got some problems with that part.
You don't like that?
No, I like the bushing and the standard length guide rod. Complicates things.
Let's see, skeletonized trigger. I do like the cuts they do at the front of the slide.
Well, that's the extra the extra like 0.6 of an inch that they've added on.
Yeah, looks cool though.
Yeah,
Curious about reliability.
It's kind of splitting the difference between the actual they call it an officer. Well, what do they call it? The officer style. God, that's a terrible name.
So what makes 3-inch 1911 suck? Generally.
Well, generally we'll have to see what they've got for their spring assembly, but like some of the original Colts use just a single recoil spring instead of a double nested recoil spring like in our cars. Actually, does your car have a double nested or a single?
Oh, gee, I'd have to pull it out of the safe. I haven't looked at it in a long time. I'm pretty sure. I want to say it's nested.
Yeah, but so the original ones essentially were just a cut down, heavier 1911 spring, and those they'd get devoured. Like it'd be like every 500 rounds you need to change it, or it'd start battering against the frame. And there was some reliability issues. I don't know why that is. I do know that like I've shot like a bunch of like the Smith & Wesson. It's a Defender style. It's a 3-inch, officer frame, 1911, and those things run like a top. So some people have figured out how it works.
Yeah, the cars have a double nested spring.
Well, I think some of the C series don't, but I'm not sure about that. I was just wondering, but yeah, so yeah, it all depends on what the spring is, and it's I mean it's a finickier platform because again, you're taking what was designed as a 5-inch gun and shrinking it down to 3 inches, or in this case 3.6 inches, and it's just you're limiting all your need for space, so they can get tricky. And I would argue that at that point in time, if you're getting a gun that small, is that the gun you want? Maybe it is the gun you want. Maybe it is absolutely the exact gun that you would want. For me personally, once I'm getting down to that level, like I want a gun I can stuff in my pocket, and I don't want a single action gun. I want a long double action pull. And so for that, I use my Car PM45, which is a little bit smaller and a little bit lighter, probably actually a lot lighter because I think this is all steel.
That's my main issue with my dad's Kimber Micro 9. It's like, this is a gun I would want to carry in my pocket, but as experienced as I am carrying firearms, I'm still not terribly comfortable with the idea of a cocked and locked 9mm.
Yeah,
in my pocket, even in a decent pocket holster. I'm sorry, people are going to email me and say, "Oh, well, you carry it this way and it's fine. If you have a good holster, it's fine." Still, I don't know. There's no grip safety or anything like that. So the only thing preventing that from being a really, really light trigger, which it pretty much is, it's not a long double action stroke by any means, is that thumb safety. And that thumb safety is not very resilient to being turned off. I mean, you got to put a little effort into it, but not much.
There's been a few occasions where my 1911 has come out of my shoulder holster and the safety's been off.
Right.
It's only happened again. I carry this gun like all the time, and it's only been maybe 2 or 3 times total in the 12 years I've been carrying this gun. In some cases, almost every day. So it's not very common. But again, when that comes out with that shoulder holster, I've got a thumb brake that goes between the firing pin and the hammer. So there's one level of safety. It's got the grip safety on it. I'm not as concerned about that. And again, you don't ever muzzle you make sure to draw. For me, I take my left hand and put it on my right shoulder as I draw, and that keeps my elbow up and out of the way. It also brings the holster a little bit closer to my right hand as I draw, and that'll
down and out.
Yeah, that makes sure that I'm not going to shoot myself in the brachial artery.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just feel better like with my car, my CM9. That you got to have something in the trigger guard physically pushing that trigger to get it to go off. Like that's same thing with like a double action J frame. I mean,
and have you ever measured the length of travel on your trigger on your car? Because I know my PM45
it's about 10 miles.
It is 3/4 of an inch. It is almost a full inch of travel. And I actually
search it on MapQuest and get directions.
I measured my J frame my J frames don't even have that long a trigger pull. It doesn't feel that long. It feels about the length of a J frame, but it's like actually like a measure longer.
I've always said that the car guns are the perfect analog for people who are used to carrying J frames and smooth double action revolvers and want to go to an auto but don't want the trigger pull of like a Glock. Go for a car because it feels just like it.
Yeah, if you like revolvers, like this is the great ideas. That's exactly what my car is. My first carry gun was a Smith & Wesson 642. So that's a 5-shot 38 Smith & Wesson. And then as soon as I found out about the car, it's like I needed one because I'm like, oh, it's a little bit heavier, but it holds 6+1. You can reload it with 7-round magazines. And yeah, it's a semi-auto. So I love revolvers, but if I'm given a choice, I'm diving for a semi-auto.
All I'm hearing are sirens outside my window. I wonder if they're putting their Glocks to use. Good Lord.
Well, I hope not.
I hope not as well. Anyway, I figured I'd leave these last two because we were talking about shotguns, and I knew you liked these. The Shockwave semi shotguns. Now these look cool. These remind me. I saw one of these in a movie one time. Weird. Can you tell me which one? Because I don't remember. It's a Remington 1100 or 1187, with almost like a witness style type thing.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see, like, do they have an angled picture of the? I love the charging handle on the bolt. On the bolt
really
carrier.
Cool.
That's a really attractive gun. And yeah. Again, now that with a mag fed.
That I think that looks even more sleek than the pump action ones.
Oh, wait. They're calling it's a short barreled shotgun? Why is it class 3? Why can't, or are they
come in short barrel shotgun or NFA, non-NFA configuration?
Yeah, but that's an 18.5 inch.
It's important to know that unlike the mentioned pump action shotguns, the Shockwave Semi 12 has a 12-inch barrel and is not a firearm, but a short barreled shotgun requiring a TAC stamp and the necessary paperwork to acquire one. Unlike the TAC 14 and 590 Shockwave, the Black Aces Tactical Shockwave was originally manufactured as a shotgun and had a stock, hence it can't fit the same firearm category.
Yeah.
What's cool about the Shockwave semi shotguns is that Black Aces has completely redesigned the recoil mechanism, making it possible to mount the bird's head grips.
Oh, I bet it's got the my wife's Beretta. Yeah, the little rat tail that dives into the stock.
But right here it shows the non-NFA where they bring the barrel length out to 18.5 inches, and that still doesn't look terrible.
No. Oh man, I'm watching the YouTube video. The charging handle's a big ring. That is really attractive.
That's not bad.
And man, look at he's shooting high brass out of that in the video. Like,
you get 6+1 in the 18.5 inch version.
That's decent.
4+1 in the 12-inch SBS version.
Again, the only pain in the butt is how are you going to sight it? I wonder if they make a forend that you could put a laser on.
Yeah, you know how you sight it? You just keep pulling the damn trigger till you put pellets all over the place.
Swiss cheese your whole house.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't say that. I take that back. Please don't email me. No one do that.
You know what? Email me and I'll read it. I'll read it
Email
to
Weird.
Ryan next week. Weirdbeard@gmail.com.
Then the last one here before we wrap up, the Littlest shotgun. I've seen this thing all over the place. They did ballistics testing of it.
Oh wow, that's like the one from what was it? Killing Them Softly, where the shells are sticking out the end of it.
Surprisingly, the buckshot and slugs performed quite well. Many of the double-aught buckshot pellets fired from the mini shells penetrated the 16-inch gel block all the way through. The 2 3/4-inch slug penetrated the gel block quite a ways.
Man.
For something without a barrel.
Well, I mean, shotguns use essentially pistol powder in them, handgun radio. And so really, like, I remember, was it Ballistics by the Inch? A bunch of people have done some testing of shotgun ballistics with cutting the barrel off. And believe it or not, you don't need that much barrel. Like, the reason why your skeet guns and duck guns have like 28-inch barrels is just for handling reasons.
But you would think, like, because the cartridge itself is not the pressure-bearing item. I mean, well, okay, so in normal rounds, like pistol rounds, you got brass cases, and they can bear a little bit of pressure, but not much. But these plastic shells and shotguns can't bear anything.
No, but again, the business ends are all enclosed.
Not in this one, though. I mean, there's like, what, a half an inch showing out the end
I mean, but the actual part where, I mean, the part that exposes just has the pellets in it.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I guarantee the wad isn't even exposed.
That's weird. But, hey, I mean, it actually performs quite well.
It does completely ruin the shells.
Well, yeah, but, well, I was about to say who's reloading shotgun shells, but I'll get emails about that, too.
I wonder how hard it is to get them out, though. I'm trying to skip through the video and see if I can find them actually ejecting them to see if they actually come out.
Shotgun shell reloading. I saw some of that. I mean, it's interesting. I suppose if I was someone who shot a lot of skeet and stuff, it might be.
Yeah, my father-in-law used to reload them because, yeah, he shot a lot of skeet, shot a lot of ducks.
But I mean, these days, really, is it that financially viable when you can go buy a box of shells for like $5 at Walmart?
Yeah, I gotta imagine it's gotta be pretty tough.
I mean, I suppose, you know, the $5 boxes of shells you're buying at Walmart are the crappy, you know, like number 7 shot, you know, Bob's ammunition.
Anything beats spending $25 for a whole duck at the grocery store.
I mean, when you go to buy like buckshot and stuff, those that come in packs of 5, I've seen that where it's like, you know, $15 for packs of 5 or $10 or whatever.
I got a whole bunch of Remington buckshot that I've got, you know, for social purposes. And I remember getting that for like super duper cheap. I want to think it was like, I don't know, like $5 a box or something.
Yeah, in 1987.
No, it was in the early 2000s.
Early 2000s.
I don't shoot a lot of shotgun.
You say that like it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
I'm only 30, weird.
Yeah, you probably weren't legal to drink then when I bought these shotgun shells.
I wasn't legal to drink in 2011, 2010.
My God.
Yeah, don't you feel old now?
Yeah. Do you know why I feel so old, Ryan?
I don't know.
It's because I am.
All right. Well, with that, we'll wrap up and head into the wrap up. Sorry, Jesus. How about this? With that, we'll head to the wrap up section and close out the show. Don't forget to shop Brownells using our affiliate link. Head to firearmsradio.tv. You might want to try that
again. I was totally speaking over you.
Yeah, you spoke over me.
Yeah, you're not recording this at 2 different tracks, are you?
No.
So you can't mute me. So do it again. It's going to sound like shit.
Okay, I'll mute you. Shut up.
See, we need a blooper reel.
Yes, we do. Don't forget to shop Brownells using our affiliate link. Head to firearmsradio.tv and click the affiliate link in the upper right-hand corner. Be sure to go like Handgun Radio on Facebook and share it with your friends and leave us a review on iTunes. Be sure to go visit the Firearms Insider and be sure to check out all the shows on the Firearms Radio Network's YouTube page. Weird, where can people find you?
You can find me at my blog, which is weirdworld.com, and also on the Assorted Calibers podcast, which is assortedcalibers.com.
And there are links there in the show notes. The show is fantastic. You should go become a Patreon of their show as well. The content over there is number one top shelf stuff.
Yeah. I'm quite proud of it. I was editing one of my contributors' content, and I'm like, you know what? And literally editing was just listening to make sure that they didn't drop an F-bomb that needed to be bleeped or something like that. And I'm just like, that's all I need to do is do a little noise cancellation, and that's it. I'm like, you know what? I might be the least talented person on my podcast, and that's not a bad thing.
And don't mistake my telling Weird to shut up as, me. I love him. So this is awesome. If it wasn't for Weird, this show would probably not still be going.
As soon as this show is over, we're going to cuddle.
Good Lord. We also need to get Snarky Posters on the show at some point.
Yeah, let's get him on.
We'll use if he wants to use the voice changer from the Howie Carr show, we can do that.
I think we can do that. Do you have that audio file?
I'll just play the audio file in the background over and over again while he's talking.
Yep.
He does say you can get premium federal buckshot for less than 60 cents a round.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and cheap S&B buckshot for 30 cents. Hey, Russian stuff shoots just as good as American, I think.
I gotta say, I've heard some people that do like the plated buckshot and all that stuff. I'm all about the cheapest buckshot on the planet. Like, it's buckshot. It's gonna work.
I don't know. Throw some rocks in the thing. I'll shoot it. I don't
exactly. Care. Snail shells.
Hey, throw some rock salt in there. I'll use it. Roger Moore used it to great effect in View to a Kill.
A buddy of mine got popped with it once, stealing pumpkins out of someone's pumpkin patch in Corinth.
Good. Rock salt shotgun shells in Maine, stealing pumpkins. How much more Maine can you get?
In Corinth.
All right, folks. Well, thank you for tuning in. And until next week, have fun and safe shooting.